Welcome to the session on Investment Multiplier. This concept was introduced by J.M. Keynes and is an integral part of macroeconomic theory. In the aftermath of the Great Depression, Keynes realized that lack of aggregate demand was the primary reason for economic depression. Furthermore, he noted that investments made by the government increased the aggregate demand in the economy and generated a multiplier effect. Thus, investment multiplier became a remedial therapy for the recovery of an economy from economic depression. The basic tenet of this concept is that the more a country's government spends, the more its economy will flourish. Investment multiplier shows the relation between investment and income. According to Keynes, when there is an increase in aggregate investment in an economy, income will increase by an amount which is multiplier times the increase in investment. So, if investment increases by a certain amount, increase in income is not restricted to the extent of initial investment due to the multiplier effect. In fact, that's the reason planners and policymakers are all busy exploring sources of funds for investment. The above definition of multiplier effect can be represented in the form of an equation. Delta Y is K times delta I. And from the above equation, we can derive the formula for multiplier. So multiplier is delta Y upon delta I and can be defined as the ratio of change in income to change in investment. Let's now understand the relation between marginal propensity to consume, marginal propensity to save, and investment multiplier. Marginal propensity to consume is the proportion of additional income that is spent on consumption, and marginal propensity to save is the proportion of additional income that is saved. So K is 1 upon 1 minus MPC. That is, there is a direct relation between marginal propensity to consume and multiplier. And K is 1 upon MPS. That is, there is an inverse relation between marginal propensity to save and multiplier. The reason for this is that when MPC is high, it implies that higher proportion of additional income is being spent on consumption. So, demand for goods and services increases, which leads to increase in the production levels and increase in demand for factor services by the producers, thereby generating more income in the economy. Since value of MPC is always less than 1, value of multiplier will always be greater than 1. Some important points need to be kept in mind while understanding the concept of investment multiplier. Since there is a direct relation between marginal propensity to consume and multiplier, higher the value of MPC, higher will be the value of multiplier. And since there is an inverse relation between marginal propensity to save and multiplier, higher the value of MPS, lower will be the value of multiplier. The maximum value that multiplier can take is infinity, and that happens when MPC is 1. That is, when all the households in the economy decide to consume their entire additional income and therefore nothing is saved, and MPS is 0. Minimum value that the multiplier can take is 1, and that happens when MPC is 0. That is, when the economy decides to save the entire additional income and MPS is 1. So, the value of multiplier lies between 1 and infinity. And we conclude that the extent of investment multiplier depends on the decisions taken by the households in an economy with respect to their spending and saving. And thus, marginal propensity to consume plays an important role. The basic principle on which investment multiplier works is that one person's expenditure is another person's income. The initial investment is generally undertaken by the government, especially during a recession or a depression. When the government spends uh, money on things like public works, it makes large scale expenditure, which is paid to the laborers, to the suppliers of raw materials, for purchase of machines, etc. This initial increase in investment by the government will generate income in the economy. This additional income will lead to increase in consumption expenditure. By how much will consumption expenditure increase will depend on the value of marginal propensity to consume. This in turn generates more income in subsequent rounds. Let's understand the process with the help of an example. Let's assume that marginal propensity to consume is zero point 0.8. That is, 80% of additional income is spent on consumption and the rest, 20%, is saved. Let's further assume that initial investment delta I is rupees 1000 crores, which the government injects in the economy for the purpose of constructing a dam. In the first round, delta I and delta Y will be equal, that is rupees 1000 crores, because the initial investment by the government becomes income for the people who will spend some part of it on buying goods and services and save the rest. Since MPC is zero point 0.8, 80% of the income will be used for consumption. So, delta C will be 800 crores and the rest 20% will be saved. That is, delta S will be rupees 200 crores. In the second round, consumption expenditure of rupees 800 crores generates equal amount of income. So, change in income delta Y will be rupees 800 crores in round 2, 80% of which will be consumed and the rest 20% will be saved once again. This process creates a loop of investment, expenditure, consumption, and income, and it continues until there's no scope for further consumption and saving. That is, where the entire initial investment becomes part of the savings. Working of investment multiplier can be illustrated with the help of a schedule. In this schedule, we see that in round 1, delta y is equal to delta I. That is, additional income is equal to an initial additional investment in the economy. Since MPC is 0.8, 80% of the additional income is consumed and the rest 20% is saved. So 80% of 1000 crores is 800 crores. So delta C is 800 crores and delta S is 200 crores in round 1. Since one person's expenditure is another person's income, the consumption expenditure of 800 crores in round 1 becomes additional income of 800 crores in round 2. In round 2, again, 80% of 800 crores is consumed. So delta C is 640 crores and the rest 20% is saved. So delta S is 160 crores. Again, going by the principle that one person's expenditure is another person's income, the consumption expenditure in round 2 becomes additional income in round 3, 640 crores, out of which 80% once again is consumed. So delta C is 512 crores and the rest 20% is saved. Delta S is 128 crores. And the process continues till the entire initial investment gets exhausted and becomes a part of total savings. And no more consumption expenditure or saving can be done out of it. We can calculate the total income generated by using the formula delta y is k times delta I. And we get the value of delta y as 5,000 crores. Another way of calculating the total income generated is by first calculating the value of multiplier. So multiplier is 5. And then substituting the value of k in this equation, we get the value of delta y. Similarly, we can calculate the value of delta C by using the formula MPC is delta C upon delta Y, since MPC is the ratio of change in consumption to change in income. We substitute the value and we get the value of delta C as 4,000 crores. We can further calculate delta S. Now we know savings is equal to income minus consumption. S is equal to Y minus C. So delta S will be equal to delta Y minus delta C. And we calculate the value of delta S as 1,000 crores. If you have any doubts, please leave them in the comment section below. In case you found the video helpful, remember to press the like button and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel for more economics concepts and tutorials.